Yeah, I'm like, oh no. You know, let me go talk to the neighbors before they call the police. So I rush next door, knock on the door, they open the door. I'm like, hey, man, I live next door to you guys. And you can see on their face,
The door
hey, yeah, like, what's going on, man? Everything okay over there? Like, yeah, I'm a voice actor, I'm auditioning for it. I just want to apologize. You can see the visual relief on their face. Okay. Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that.
Do we live next to a maniac?
And now they know, because they get it all the time. But like, you know, shouting and screaming, I'm sure they thought was weird for a lot of games, but specifically the phrase, I will kill you, I will effing kill you, repeatedly at the top of my lungs did not go over too well with people that weren't aware. So that was my audition process.
Weren't you recording it in your closet, too?
No, I was recording at my loft. I have a small setup in my loft.
Oh, that's really cool, dude.
It works out well, except for the fact that the ceiling carries it and then brings it to all the walls and disseminates it to all the nearby families in my apartment complex. So they get an earful of me every day doing like, and they're just like, who the heck is, okay, making breakfast.
Bryce had that same problem, he said. He was screaming bloody murder in his house, and he apparently has like a duplex or something, and they were like, are you okay? He's like, you know, like, have you seen that? This is totally off topic, you'll have to excuse me. Have you seen that, like, there's this J-pop band, and they're, like, teaching actors how to scream, like, death metal? And it's this tiny little, like, super cute Japanese girl that's, like, maybe 19, and she wears a little kimono, and then she's like,
Awesome, I need to see this.
amazing. There's, like, a whole how-to video, like, everyone's, like, buying this DVD, and she's like, on the cover, like,
I need to find this and see it.
Seriously.
it's so cool. That's just a side note.
I think this is going to be my Christmas shopping next year.
We'll all just get it for each other.
I just scream.
Audition process, Mr. Josh.
You know, just usual thing. You get called in, and they let us know prior that they wanted us to come in, so I had about a week to prepare. And at that point, I had already watched the show. I've been watching the show with the simulcast, so I just went back and I watched a few eps. And
I think the entire cast actually did go to Josh, and they were like, what about this character? Tell me about this character, because they knew that Josh had seen the whole show. So, help me.
And got there, and I read for Aaron, I read for Armin, Connie, and I think Levi. And Armin was the one that I really was gunning for, at least because I felt that it was one that I could. It matched a lot of the characters I had done before. It was something that sat very easily in my vocal range. And I also had kind of fallen in love with the character after, you know, watching the show. His character arc seemed like a really fun thing to do. So, yeah, and that's pretty much how it went. Was just went in, did my thing, and Mike, it was really funny because when, you know, those last 3 lines where we're supposed to scream, I was doing Armin first. He was like, okay, so you those lines down there, don't do those. I was like, why? He's like, I've heard you scream in that pitch before. I don't need to hear it again. I know you. Yeah. So yeah. It was fun.
And when you found out, tell that story.
Oh yeah. And then like a week passed. Week to 2 weeks passed. Didn't hear anything. And so I thought, okay.
I found out in a couple of days.
Yeah. Just like I didn't hear anything, and I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it didn't happen. And then my agent calls me and says, hey, they need you for 9 hours for Titan. And I flipped out. But they didn't tell me who I was playing. So I'm just like, okay, well, who has the thing to play? Who could potentially speak 9 hours? And they're like, okay, well, I'm thinking about who it could be. And get to the studio, and I'm outside the front door of the lobby where a lot of people usually hang out. And Mike came out, and he's like, oh, hey, there you are. Have you heard yet? I'm like, no. He said, okay, well, that's awesome. I'm glad to tell you you're playing Armin. And I was outside the studio. I could swear they heard me in the booths because I just screamed at the top of my lungs, like, yeah! Like starting to lose in my shit. And just like sitting there dancing outside and just like doing a little jig. And Fran's like, all right, calm down. And I was like, let's go do this. Keep that energy though, and you're gonna need it. And yeah.
Yeah, I had to watch the show and an audition, and then after the audition got finished, I went back and watched the whole. I was just gonna watch a couple episodes. Like, I guess I should check it out. Marathon the whole thing in one Sunday, and then same thing, a few weeks, didn't hear anything, and I was like, oh. Mike calls me while I'm driving down to Hollywood, and he's like, hey man, love you, possibly if you're interested, come out and play Levi. And I was like, okay, no, that'd be cool, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Cool, yeah, we'll schedule something out. Thanks, man. All right, bye. Pull over. Like in my car, someone thought I was having a really bad day. Like, oh man, that guy's looking like it's a rough Monday. And I'm like, it was
What
good.
about you, Miss Trino?
For the audition process, my brother, because he's amazing, he called me and he was like, have you seen Attack on Titan? And I was like, no, I'm busy. And he was like, it's an anime. I was like, maybe, I'll watch it. And so I watched the first episode when I found out that we had it. When I watched the first episode, then I found out we had it. And I was hoping that we would get it, or if we didn't, then I could finish it. So I had only seen the first episode because I try and build from there and then not have any preconceived notions about the character before I go in. I want to have a general idea, but not know everything. And so I went in and read for it, and I read for Mikasa, Annie, and Sasha. And I know, right? And I was like, oh my God, Sasha's amazing. She's so funny. I love her. And Mike was like, I want you to read for Mikasa first. And I was like, but Sasha likes potatoes, and I really like potatoes. Like, I feel like I really connect with her. And he was like, I feel like you have a lot of bottled up rage. I was like, what are you talking about? So I read for those 3, and it was great. And there was an interview process, an on-camera thing. Did anything ever happen?
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
It's on the box set.
I know that. Which box set? Because I have a box set. I haven't seen it.
Actually,
It's on the last disc.
it's on the last
It's
disc of the,
it's in the extras on the last disc.
I totally looked. I didn't see. Anyways, how's my hair?
It says the making of Attack on Titan.
You actually look great on
Yeah,
it.
it looks
Oh, thanks.
fantastic.
Oh, thank you. See, they didn't know either.
Yeah.
We're right here.
It says the making of Attack on Titan. It's like a 45-minute long little documentary behind the scenes.
Actually, Trina, when I saw it, I actually did think, wow, she looks good on camera. Yeah, so you look great.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so there was like a whole interview thing, and so I went in, I like did the thing, and and then I was driving too, and Mike called me and said, hey, like, we'd really like for you to play Mikasa in Attack on Titan. I was like, or no, that's not how it went at all. He called, and he was like, hey, I want to talk to you about Mikasa in Attack on Titan. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And he was like, yeah, I'm giving it to Jeremy. And I was like, oh, I was like, awesome. Because it was a bad connection. I was like, that's awesome, man. Tell her I say congratulations. He was like, so you don't want to do it? I was like, well, you gave it to Jeremy. And he's like, no, I want you to do it. And I was like, oh, I want to do it too. That's cool. So I love Jeremy, but Jeremy's so cute and little. I just love her so much. Anyway, so that was completely anti-Mikasa. Like, I love Jeremy. Yeah, so that's how I found out, and that's how it all shaped up.
That's awesome. How about you, Lauren?
Well, one of my favorite stories that I love to share is how I found out, like the whole story behind me finding out I was cast in it. So the audition process, guys.
We
The
talk for a
audition
living.
process was basically, since Matt and I are from LA, they basically sent us an email saying, hey, we want you to audition for this. And so we were Red Bull. And so I auditioned for Annie, Mikasa, Sasha, Hanji, and Krista? Krista. Yes, Krista. And there was somebody else too, I don't remember. But either way, a lot of the girls. And I honestly was not expecting to get cast in it, only because, I lived in LA, and yes, they do fly people out from LA sometimes. They do have people fly out to record, but I honestly wasn't expecting it. So I recorded it, and then a few days later, I was driving around LA, and if you've ever been to LA, parking is just a nightmare. So I was looking for black lipstick, which is actually very difficult to find, believe it or not, like good black lipstick, because I was modeling that night for a friend of mine as Dev from the Sandman comics. This is important, I promise. No, it's not. And I get a call from Mike, and I think to myself, okay, well, he's calling me for either 2 reasons. 1, because I was cast, or 2, just to be nice and say, well, we liked what you did, but maybe next time, which doesn't happen a lot, but Mike is just incredibly sweet, so I wouldn't be surprised if he would do that. So he calls me, And again, you guys, I want to point out, I had never seen the show at this point. Okay? I'm just pointing that out. So then Mike calls me and he says, hey, what you doing? And I said, oh, nothing, just trying to find parking. And he says, well, the casting directors decided that they want you as Annie. My reaction was, cool. Awesome. And I was happy to be a part of it. So happy to be a part of it. And he heard my just, cool, awesome. Like, not my screaming or anything. And he says, have you seen the show? I said, no, I don't know anything about it. And he says, okay. Well, here's the thing about Annie. He says, she starts off as a side character. She gets bigger later.
Yeah.
His exact words. And, yeah. The people in this room are like, what? Anyway,
And you got bigger later.
And so I was like, yeah, there you go. And so my reaction was, oh, you know what? That's so cool. I just thought he was being nice. So I thought, oh, that's cool, whatever. You know, I'm just happy to be a part of it. So then I fly out to Texas to record, and I was staying with Josh and his roommate, and I said, okay, should I watch this? Like, Josh, should I watch this? And Tyson Reinhardt, who is one of the writers on the show, says, yes, you need to watch this, like, ASAP. And I said, okay. So we watched the first 3 episodes, and immediately I was hooked. And Mike says to me, well, you can watch it if you want. Just watch up until episode 13, but don't go past that, because there are spoilers after that. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. Shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I go home and I put it on, and like Matt, I marathoned it probably within 48 hours, but I had to take sleep breaks. Oh my God, it was so intense that it's exhausting to watch. I love it. So, anyways, I ended up watching the whole thing, and by the end of it, I was tickled pink. I was so incredibly excited to be a part of it, and it's an awesome, awesome show. Yeah, so, yeah. Do we have any questions from the audience? I see a blade over there.